What's going on, everyone? So the New York Knicks just suffered another loss, losing four straight, and this time to the Orlando Magic. They are currently the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. They are half a game ahead of the 76ers for dropping to the fifth seed. They are 2 games back of the Milwaukee Bucks from the 3 seed and 4 games back of the 2 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the New York Knicks, look, if me personally being honest, I think the New York Knicks are the second best team in the Eastern Conference. I think fully healthy. I think fully, bought in, figured out, let's go. I thought they made some really great acquisitions during this trade deadline. OG Anunoby was huge pickup and worked out seamlessly for them. Obviously, he's out with injury. And then picking up Alec Burke, Bojan Bogdanovic, I think really bolstered not only their shooting, but their bench, and just gave them veteran guys that can come in that have had experiences and have kind of been there and done that in various ways and can just be stabilizers for this team and just add other pieces to an already very talented team and roster. But the New York Knicks, after just going, blazing through the league, have really kind of tapered off and cooled off, right? They have lost 5 out of their last 7 games after winning 9 straight. And they did that several times, right? So they have been one of the hottest, playing some of the best basketball in the league, to, hey, we're really struggling, having some struggles. But again, a lot of that is basically they're missing Julius Randle. They're missing OG. They have Robinson, who's still out. Even in the game against Orlando, they were very shorthanded. Didn't have Bojan Bogdanovic. The starters for that game were basically Jalen Brunson and and then them just trying to kind of piece together whatever they could to try to remain competitive, right? Like if you look at the starters, it was Brunson, Burks, Hart, Sims, and Precious, right? Now, outside of Brunson, Precious did have a solid game, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. And he's actually been pretty solid, which was another part of the OG pickup, which, again, is a really solid. They just made the right moves, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing. And the reason I'm even talking about it, right? Because seeding is going to be important for the New York Knicks, in my opinion. I do believe that the Knicks can beat anybody in the Eastern Conference. I think this team is deep enough. I think this team is talented enough. I think that they have Jalen Brunson, who has shown that he can really elevate this team and a big-time playoff performer. I do think I don't necessarily think that the Knicks will win the NBA championship. I still think the Celtics would ultimately beat them in a 7-game series, although the Celtics are really good at just kind of shooting themselves in the foot and putting themselves in a terrible position. Like, they love to just shoot themselves out of games. They can become very stagnant, predictable. I kind of question their depth also, but overall, I think if I had to bet on it, I would take the Celtics over the New York Knicks. But I don't think outside of the Celtics, anybody else beats them. That doesn't mean that a team can't. Milwaukee, Giannis and Dame, I'm sure no one wants to see them in a playoff series, even with the Bucks struggles and issues and questions. The Cavaliers, right? Again, I'm not really sold on the Cavs, but they're a team that is extremely hot, playing some excellent basketball last 2 months, and that's without 2 of their top 3 best players on the team. And so, you don't want to face them again. But the Knicks, they're going to be one of those teams that you're going to have to beat. You're not just going in and handling business and running through the Knicks, in my opinion. You're going to have to work, and you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to really have to beat the Knicks. But I do believe seeding is going to be important for them. I think them, if they drop to the 6th seed, and all of a sudden they got to play Milwaukee in the first round, and they're basically playing through the postseason on the road, I just don't think that's great. Where it wasn't, and look, they don't have any control over this, right? They can't control the injuries to like OG and Randall and stuff. They believe if they could have everyone healthy, they would. But this is a team that was extremely hot, was right there at the 2 seed, looking like they were about to run away with the Eastern Conference and the league, and boom, it's just like Knicks take 1 step forward, they get knocked down 2 steps back, and they are now currently kind of sinking a bit. Luckily, the Sixers, for them at least, Sixer fans not so much, but Sixers are going to be without Joel Embiid for who knows how long, right? The Pacers, they can be kind of hot and cold at times. We'll see how they go. Miami's kind of been really good lately, and they're missing like half their team, but they're probably going to be missing like half their team for a while. Can they keep that up? Also, I think, the Knicks are in a position where they handled business early on, and that really put them in a position to where I'm not really worried about them falling deep into the, play-in. But look, they're only 3 games back of like the Heat and the Magic from being in the play-in tournament. And it's not really where the Knicks want to be. So I do, as much as I think the Knicks have the potential to basically get to the conference finals in the Eastern Conference, and I wouldn't be shocked if they made the NBA finals. I don't think that they win it. But in the same breath, there's not many teams that like I look at and go, the Knicks can't beat, right? And again, the Celtics, I think, beat them. Outside of that, I think they could beat anybody in the East. In the West, the Timberwolves, I'm not worried about. Thunder, not worried about. Clippers could be tough, just because they have so much firepower and all their defensive guys. They can make things difficult and challenging. The Nuggets I still think, are probably the best team in the league. I know that they've had their struggles and they've looked human at times, but once you get to the postseason, I think you'll see the Nuggets and you go, all right. But outside of that, like the Suns, I think that they could beat the Suns. Obviously, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, you never want to count out, and that would be tough. But I actually think that they would beat the Suns. I think they beat the Pelicans, the Mavericks, the Kings. The Lakers, on the other hand, I think would be tough. And I know some people are going to be like, well, of course you think that because you're a Laker fan. No, I just think Anthony Davis and LeBron James is going to be like, how do they handle those two? Right? And they have a ton of big bodies and have had success kind of like just making things really difficult with Jalen Brunson, more so than many of the other teams. Look at their most recent matchup, for example, right? And again, I'm not talking like Jalen Brunson going and dropping 30. There's levels to that, right? Especially with injuries and stuff. So I don't know. Again, I'm not saying the Lakers would run through the Knicks, but I do think that the Lakers do pose a couple mismatches, a couple challenges for the Knicks. But regardless, I think the Knicks can handle business and get through it. But they really need to just maintain at least, right? Even if they finish as the 4 seed, then at least they have a round where they're at home, right? You're playing it's just, do you really want the Celtics matchup in the first round? Like, that's where the problem lies, right? Do you end up, because right now, based on the standings, I actually think that the Celtics, the Cavs, the Bucks, and the Knicks, I do think that those 4 teams would win, right? So let's say the postseason started today. You'd have the Cavs playing the Magic, the Celtics playing the Magic. Celtics handle them. Cavs playing the Heat. I actually think the Cavs could beat the Heat and probably would, although you never want to count the Heat out. I like that matchup for the Cavs personally. Bucks would play the Pacers. I think I'm not really sold on the Bucks, but push come to shove, I think they beat the Pacers. Knicks play the Sixers. I actually think the Knicks would beat the Sixers. Again, that's just me personally. So now you got the second round, and now you're playing the Celtics. You could argue if you win that, you're probably making it to the finals, because then you're playing one of the Cavs who you beat last year, and I think you're better than this year. And last year was a lot closer as far as matchups go, and Brunson can keep up with Donovan Mitchell, and I just like the Knicks better. If you play the Bucks, I'm just not really sold on the Bucks. Again, never count out Giannis, never count out Dame, but I just think the Bucks have a lot of issues, and I think the Knicks could really expose that. Um, I really, if the Knicks can maintain, kind of make that late season push when everyone comes back and healthy, I think that they'll be in good shape. However, if they're not and they continue to sink, I think we're going to be looking at it as like, okay, well, better luck next year. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to have a random discussion about the Knicks and kind of their situation because I really like the Knicks team. And I really do think that they pose a real threat to the rest of the league, again, if they could stay healthy. And I think the health issues really hurt them pretty mightily. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.